Welcome back, everybody. We are here, Supplement Kitchen, and the new segment today that we are starting is called Behind the Brand. We have on with us Freak Farm Fitness. And Zach, if you want to go ahead and start off by telling us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Good to be here with you guys. So my name is Zach Vanway. I'm the CEO and owner of Freak Farm. It's just Freak Farm. Freak Farm Fitness I had to do for the website because Freak Farm was a porn site.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then it just translated to the Instagram and the social media stuff because of keywords and stuff, fitness in there work well. But so the supplement brand is Freak Farm. I started it, really actually started selling stuff and being online this time last year, and which was probably the best time in my lifetime to start a new business. It was right before the pandemic, so it was a great learning. It was kind of like trial by fire,
Yeah.
So I've always been a gym rat, bodybuilding, powerlifting, all that stuff, and have worked for different supplement companies, worked at supplement stores when I was in college and stuff. And I just was always intrigued by it. And then I was like, I know a decent bit about this stuff. I've been involved in businesses for a long time now. I'm the director of sales. My day job, I'm the director of sales at a software company, a pretty big one. And so I've been doing that for like 6 years. And so I've learned a lot there and in previous sales positions as far as leadership goes and building out business units and branding, marketing challenges like that. So, I just thought I'd throw everything I knew at it. And it's been fun and it's growing. And now that things are slowly getting back to somewhat normal, it's a bit easier to be productive with it. And with all the gyms open, I'm selling different gyms. I'm selling online, obviously, and here within like the next 2 to 4 weeks, we'll be on Amazon. So,
that's awesome. That's a huge step. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Now, if you can, the biggest thing for last year is what people were saying is if you can survive starting or rebranding during what happened last year, then you are ahead of the game. So. Definitely, I know, like you said, I'm sure there was definitely some hills and valleys, some learning curves through that process. So we're glad to definitely see things are moving in the right direction. We're glad we were able to connect with you and kind of move from there. So we'll jump right in with the next question here. You might have touched on it a little bit, but we'll dive into it a little further if you'd like to. Talk to us about your brand. So tell us, I think you've already talked to us a little bit about the name. What's the reason for starting? What's your products like? And what's your intended audience that you're really wanting to target?
Yeah, sure. So great question. So the brand is, Freak Farm is kind of just everyone, bodybuilders, myself included, like you want to look freaky. You want to, so I just thought it would be a fun play on words. It's like, Freak Farm when you build freaks in the gym. And you guys know, obviously you run this show. You deal with all kinds of supplements and a vast majority of out there are crap, right? It's fillers and it's proprietary blends and it's 20 servings for $50 and stuff like that. And so I tried just about every supplement out there, and I was like, I want to make a quality one that's not over the top, but that's affordably priced and has a cool brand associated with it, right? And so I just started building it. We have our flagship pre-workout, which is Blowout. It's not insane stims. It's 300 milligrams caffeine, but it's got a very transparent label. There's no proprietary blend junk to it, and I didn't put anything in there that I think doesn't elicit some kind of efficacy for pre-workout, right? Like I didn't even put creatine in there because creatine is dirt cheap. You can go buy creatine if you want yourself, throw it in there. And creatine doesn't agree with everyone. Sometimes you get GI upset from it, right? Yeah, or sometimes people can't use it for WADA purposes and things like that, right? So I didn't want to kind of disenfranchise that part of the potential customer base. And so really my customers, man, range from like mid-level to pro bodybuilders are using it to a ton of people in the gym. I've got A lot of triathlon athletes are starting to use it. Like I started with my lawyer; he's a Ironman competitor, and he started using it.
Oh,
Started
yeah.
about it, going to events and everything, and they loved it because they didn't have a crash. It wasn't super sweet, which like they don't want something super sweet on their stomach, you know, when they're doing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, man, it was kind of just word of mouth, and then I haven't done a ton of like paid marketing at all. I'm sure I will a little bit more once we're on Amazon, just because you have to get up there. But yeah, the audience is just man, anyone that's working out, looking to build muscle, looking for that extra push, and that doesn't want some label that has 15 or 16 ingredients where they don't know what 7 of them are, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. And, the one thing that I touched on, because we have reviewed it, everybody will link that around here somewhere. The one thing that I did mention, and I think Derek agreed with me, is, nowadays, a lot of people try and get too fancy with these ingredients. And when you're adding, 10 to 15 ingredients, sometimes they start it becomes counterproductive in a lot of ways.
Right.
And I feel like, the product that you've created it gives you that old school vibe. It's some of the basic stuff that you definitely need and you're going to see in just about every pre-workout, but they're proven ingredients, correctly dosed. And another thing I feel like you put in there ingredients that you would use yourself. You're not going to put something in there that you wouldn't use yourself. So
Exactly. Yeah. And there's obviously other ingredients that I might include in another pre-workout, but this was just really the base one. Like I'm working on a higher stem one for those stem junkies. It's gonna have a bit more in there, and I'll probably take out some of the pump ingredients so that not too much stuff in there. And like the glycerol in this. Everyone knows that glycerol clumps up a little bit, right? So it doesn't, no matter how perfectly blended the actual powder is, from the manufacturer, it's never going to be a perfect, like there's going to be a little bit of grit or a little bit of like kick to it. And so the next one, the high stem one, probably won't have that in there because that's not who that product's for.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. I think for a starting product for a company, I enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was a great, foundation to definitely lay. So you're onto something.
Yeah.
All right, D.
And I agree, like what you were saying earlier, just the simplicity of it. I think that goes a long way. I mean,
oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and today's market. I mean, we've tried so much stuff, and we see these companies are like, oh yeah, we have so many trademarked ingredients, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Trademark's cool because you can use the claims,
Right.
and that's what you're paying for ultimately. But you can get the same product or same ingredient. I'm sorry. And it do the exact same thing. You just can't use the claims.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, look, there's definitely something to be said for getting higher quality ingredients. So like you can go get beta alanine much cheaper than how I get it from my suppliers and manufacturers. But there is a difference because I've tried 4 different big manufacturers in the US now, and they're all GMP and FDA, inspected and certified and all that stuff. But there is a notable difference in quality and the effects that those ingredients elicit from manufacturer to manufacturer. And of course, the ones that you're paying more, they are better quality for sure. Like we made one the exact. I did the exact same blend from 4 different manufacturers when I was first starting, and 2 of them, like you could barely even tell there was beta alanine in there. Whereas mine now, the finished product, like that's what everyone's like, dude, this is making me tingle, it's making me burn, I love it, blah, blah, and it's kind of one of those psychosomatic things where people take a pre-workout and if it has beta alanine in it, they're like, oh, I can feel it working, right? Because it's the only thing you can actually feel like right off the bat. So yeah, but yeah, to your point with the trademarks and stuff, I mean, it's cool if you had a ton of money to throw at it and you could just say you have all these trademark things, but then you're probably gonna mark up the price too. So
yeah. So, all right, D, you want to take the next one?
Yep. So, what has been the biggest challenge you've faced in current times, and how are you dealing with it, or how have you dealt with it?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I mean, there's probably a 2-part answer. So one, like any small business starting is going to be capital, right? I didn't take out loans. I didn't get investors or anything. I have spent all my own money starting this from start to finish and then managing everything myself. I mean, everything from, like, I worked with graphic designers and stuff, so I could barely draw a stick figure, let alone the graphic. But I mean, I dictated, what I wanted to be, working with logistics, setting up all the different online accounts, designing the websites. I mean, everything. So I guess it's a split between money, because you want to go balls to the wall right out the gate. I want 5 products, and I want to be the best, and it's like, oh shit, that's $500,000.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think about a lot of people starting a small business. Because one thing, if you're starting a business where it's like, I'm gonna go clean houses, right? Or I'm going to have a power washing business, because that's fairly scalable, and that's just manpower, right? And then you schedule it. But when you're building a business that requires investment, logistics, from shipping to label design to printing to managing incoming orders and customer service, and then all the branding on social media. I mean, you have companies that, I mean, the software company I'm the director of sales at, I mean, we have teams that do that, and I manage a couple of them. And so up to this point, it's just been me. And so I've started working more with a couple other people and taking advice from other successful people in the fitness industry, different, not just supplement companies, but accessories and clothing lines and stuff, and really taking to heart what these guys and gals have told me, that, and the 2 biggest things was, spend as much as you can, but don't overextend yourself. And on the other hand, like, you can't do everything yourself very long. That's not a scalable way to grow. And I kind of knew that from the start, but I was being stubborn. And then as it actually started to move, which is just recently, it started to move more, I'm realizing it very quickly. Like, I really do need to engage other people, whether that's just, work with a marketing company or work with someone to build. I'm working with someone to build out an Amazon site, because I've never built out an Amazon site, and getting a supplement on there that is your own brand is vastly different than going and selling like computer parts or something. Because one, it's something that people are going to consume, so they're very leery of that. And then 2, it's not an existing brand on there. If someone else owned Free Farm, they'd already been selling it on these products on Amazon, it'd be much easier for me to build out a site, because they already know that product. It's already got the SKUs on there. I would just show an invoice from the company that I'm buying it as a wholesaler and reselling. But I had to do the brand registry, I had to do trademarks, I had to work with lawyers and all this stuff. And so luckily, a good friend of mine who I'm actually partnering with on this other company that we started, had already done some things on Amazon for his own businesses that started. And so I worked with him to get it built out. And yeah, it's a huge learning process.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it.
Yeah, especially the Amazon stuff. I've talked to a few different companies and different things about that process a little more in depth. And there's way more to it than you would just think. You can't just be like, hey, put my product on here. No. It's way more to that. It's
not like listing stuff on eBay.
No.
Like, to be honest, because I'd never done it before, I was like, that's probably just like that. It's definitely not. Like, and like, they're quick to shut you down. They're quick to turn your listings off. They're quick to, if someone is to return something and they say something negative about it, whether it's true or not, if it's something negative enough, like this made me sick or this product is defective, they might remove your listing until you can prove otherwise, regardless of whether or not that's true.
Yeah, and I know it's the same way with especially dietary supplements and food, is if the FDA puts something on the restricted list or the banned list or whatever, then it automatically is taken off if it's on your label or in your product. So you run that risk as well with them. So it's definitely an interesting learning curve, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing we got here is, how do you continue to learn in order to stay on top of things within an industry that is changing daily?
Yeah, so that I think a lot of that kind of came from my day job for like the past 6-7 years, because I'm in the technology space and with basically internet-based services, and so that stuff changes monthly, and the legislation, the other competitors, the different APIs available, and blah blah. I'm not going to go into all the boring details of that stuff, but that's to say, you have to adapt with that, or it's big fish eat little fish, right? It's keep having to innovate. And you're right, it's kind of similar in the supplement space. There's always something new, something great, that some promises with, the ultimate fat burner, natural test booster, all this stuff that people, that of course most of us know is not going to elicit much of an effect, but emptying your wallet. Um, but yeah, so really it's just getting in front of it, and it's just making sure that you're engaging people in the way that they want to be engaged, whether it be social media, your websites, whatever, in person, in gyms and stuff, and just making sure that your product is marketed in the right way. Because a lot of times you'll see all these different pre-workouts and like C4, for instance, right? Like, dude, I have a tool that I can look on Amazon and look at what every seller is selling, their volume, all that stuff, right? The amount of C4 sold on Amazon is mind-blowing. I'm talking like one flavor is like 27, 30,000 units a month, right? From one seller. And that's a shitty product.
Yeah.
And their label hasn't really changed in years, but they've changed their marketing. And they've moved with social media to keep engaging people. They have really cool, colorful graphics and stuff like that. And so it's staying on top of what's actually going to work as far as the products, but then it's also just staying on top of how are you engaging people. And like if you go through my social media, which like I started taking it more seriously over the past couple months, and it's growing and growing. I've got video editing software and stuff recently, putting out more quality edited videos and stuff. You know, I don't try and sell anything else on there, and besides my products. Like I'm not trying to sell people workout plans and stuff. I put out all that stuff for free. One, because I like teaching people. I actually have a teaching degree. Yeah, but then I realized that I wouldn't make any money. So not to, that's not a bash on teachers. I have lots of teachers that but it just wasn't the road for me. But anyways, that's to say, I do love, I just love talking. I love teaching people. I love being able to answer a question that really changes someone for that day. Even if it's just one little thing, right? And so I put out free workouts. I put out free articles and all this stuff. And I think that helps people engage and identify with the brand more. And then they're more likely to support you because you're not spamming them every day with check out this product, check out my $50 cookie cutter diet plan and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that. I have people hit me up all the time for it. And I recently just put out a little video saying hey guys, just ask me questions. I may not get to you for a while, but I don't think I should charge you for information. I want you to buy my product. I want you to like my brand. But yeah, so I think it's just engaging, just making sure you're engaging people, giving out quality content, and just anything that pertains to industry that actually helps people. Because your product is, your pre-workout, your protein stuff, that's 10% of the gym, right? Supplements are awesome, but if you don't know what you're doing otherwise, you might as well not take it.
Yeah, it's so true. Now to touch on one thing, really, in an industry, that's saturated. Let's just say it. This industry is so saturated. You do run into a lot of not so down to earth people who are stuck up or who are set in their ways or who only believe in pushing their product. And of course, as a brand owner, you love your brand, you love what you do, but it's all about being able to connect with someone. And if you are asking them questions through that process and your pre-workout isn't going to fit them, are you going to push that on them? And that's the sad thing with this industry. There's a lot of people who will just to make a quick buck. And that's one thing that we're a part of is this. It's called the Supplement Snoop Group. I don't know if you know who Justin Hall is. Mm-hmm. It might be something definitely to look into. It's definitely a community type thing. Justin's a good dude. But we joined that community, and it's just a community of like-minded people. And it's just something. This industry, ever since I got into it more in depth with doing this stuff, you realize that everybody isn't so down to earth or open to speak with you. And it's hey, I just want to talk to you and just learn. But
yeah, for sure, man. There's a lot of there's a lot of great people out there, and then there's unfortunately maybe an equal number of more seedy characters or less reputable. And like you said, they're gonna push their product on whoever, no matter what. I have people ask me all the time. They're like, "Hey, I'm sensitive to caffeine," or this is for my 15-year-old son. I'm like, don't give it to him. No.
Yeah.
I'll leave a link to like one of my other buddies' products that is more suitable for them. Because like one, like I don't want someone having a bad experience. Like that's not fun and that's not safe, you know. But also too, like just speaking strictly from a branding perspective, like what's the likelihood that they're not going to go online and blast the product saying, yeah, they told me it was great, and then, I had a shit experience, I got sick, blah blah blah, I didn't like it. Like that's just I don't understand how people survive like that. I guess it's just if you have enough of a existing fan base or customer base, it can maybe outweigh this, but I don't want to operate like that.
Yeah, and word of mouth. Well, I guess I don't know if you call it word of mouth or word of internet nowadays.
Yeah.
That travels, and like you said, that speaks volumes. So, anything you want to add, D?
No, I just think that like speaks to kind of like what we do is just trying to provide like honest, true information about the products. Because there's, I imagine you've seen it. There's companies out here, review companies, that will take like a paid sponsorship and they'll inflate their review. And so like our thing is we've been staying away from that to make sure we're just out here providing honest information. If there's a product that we have online, you're getting the truth of our experience.
Yeah, no, I think people really appreciate that, man, because it's hard to trust a lot of those, especially like the ones that maybe aren't social media based but more website based. Like,
right.
If you're savvy, it's pretty obvious. You can see real quick, and there's a lot of links to the products, and and then if you check the links, there's obviously it's an affiliate link. But you guys don't do anything like that. There's a few other groups similar to you guys that I appreciate too. But you guys just, if you don't like it, you're gonna say it. Like, and you're not ever trying to sell it. And like obviously I sent you guys free bottle of pre-workout, but that was so you could review it. That wasn't like you guys aren't getting anything out of it because there's a chance you don't even like it. So then you're wasting time to think something you don't like.
Funny story, just to throw in here really quick.
I already know where this is going.
We have been threatened to be sued after giving an honest review of a product that the company reached out to us first to do. Yeah,
really?
That was
Yep. They sent us a majority of their product line.
Yeah, and we did their pre-workout first, which is normally the thing that we go to because it's the easiest. Yeah. And it scored like a 3 or a 4, and we gave our honest opinion about the flavor. It tasted like tropical butt, and they literally blew up our Instagram for 2 days telling us to take down the video or they were going to sue us. And I was like, that just goes, yeah. No, we ended up taking it down, and I didn't want to get into any legal slander issues. Yeah. But that goes to show you that's the industry that we're in, and if a company can't take feedback, whether it be a reviewer, whether it be a customer, whatever, then they're not meant and they're not going to make it in this space. So.
And how could you possibly grow and get better at your trade if you can't take, consume, and do something actionable with feedback?
That's so true. Yeah. And that's in anything.
Yeah. I mean, that's in the gym. If somebody bigger and stronger than you gives you, say, hey, man, I see you doing bench, you're struggling here. Try this. Like, if you're like, hey, fuck off. Like, that's not the best, Like, if someone way bigger and stronger than me comes up to me and gives me advice, like, I at least want to know, like, what they have to say because they probably know something I don't, right?
Yeah,
like,
so true.
You see a guy driving a Lamborghini that's 25, like, a lot of people's first reaction is, oh, that guy sucks. He's probably family money. Probably no. But I think people like us, our reaction is, that guy probably knows something. Like, I'd love to talk to him, right?
Yep.
Open-minded. That's the key word here.
Yeah.
So, all right, D, you got the next one?
Yeah. As a supplement brand owner, what's the biggest area in the industry you are curious about and why?
Like as far as products go, like types of products or
types of products. It could be about the industry itself.
Yeah. So as far as types of products, I'm interested in fat burners and particularly in lower stimulant fat burners because a lot of people can't tolerate the high stim fat burners and the really strong thermogenics. Yeah, you one of them? Yeah.
Yep.
So like, yeah, and I'm kind of like in the middle, you know, and so I'm interested to see what opportunity there is to find like a happy medium there that doesn't not necessarily stimulant or thermogenic free, but find a way to make it more tolerable and still elicit a good effect on the target, which is fat loss, without making people feel like their skin's crawling and like they're getting the cold sweats and they can't sleep and stuff, right? So I think there's a lot of opportunity in that area, because I mean fat loss supplements are the number one supplements in the world, right? Everyone wants
Oh yeah.
everyone wants to lose fat, and so if you could find a better way to go about that, I think that would be incredible. Obviously, as far as a business opportunity, but then also for helping.
Oh yeah. I mean that's a good one. I mean, D, you could probably talk a little bit.
Yeah, him being me, not the best of friends. But like to your point, a lot of companies, they'll do a very like high stem thermo, and then they'll do like a stem free. But there's very few companies that are in that middle ground.
Yeah, which I'm curious about. I don't know if I haven't done enough, market analysis on that particular section to know, but I'm curious if it's just because through trial and error, they figured out that there's really two camps of major consumers in that industry, that they're going to buy the high stem ones or going to buy the no stem ones. I would imagine that like there'd be a good number of people that would steer towards the middle.
Yeah, that's typically what I aim for, is something that can serve like a dual purpose. Now, I may take like a non-stem in the morning, but maybe something in the afternoon, take like a moderate stem thermo is typically what I aim for.
Yeah, well, and another thing in this category too, I think that may drive it is the educational piece. When someone first gets into this, to fitness or whatever, losing weight, whatever it may be, they just look for keywords: lose weight, fat burning, and they're going to buy, like you said, that Amazon search, whatever the first probably 4 or 5 products are going to be the ones that they look for, and those are going to be the ones that they jump in and buy. But it all goes back to that knowledge piece of trying to educate consumers, first timers, different things like that, so they know the difference of, hey, you need to check this out or you need to check this out. Depends on your goals, like I said, tolerance level, different things like that. So I think it all comes down to the educational piece.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's definitely companies out there that do a really good job on educating people without just trying to sell them. But I feel like most of the articles I read and then most of the videos I see posted on social media, all, regardless of what they're telling you, still try and steer you towards their product, whether it's right for you or not, So.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Especially anything. Well, I don't know if these are magazines. If you go back to anything that's been in a magazine before, those companies have claims on there that I'm pretty sure probably are illegal. But
the old muscle tech, like the old muscle tech products, like what was their creatine? Mass Tech? Is that what it was?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Something like it, yeah.
Cell Tech, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would show like obviously big jack guys all tan and stuff, but it would show like third party some random university, and it would show like participants that used the product versus the placebo group gained like 12.9 pounds of muscle in like 14 days, which is physiologically possible. 10 grams of tren a day, like that's it's but I remember seeing that when I was like 16, 17, 18, and I was like, damn, I gotta take this stuff. It was just sugar and you're gaining water. So you're like, there's got to be something illegal about that.
Yeah, and that's another point that you touch on there is, especially these articles, especially online nowadays, articles that are popping up or the key searches based on what you're talking about that is coming to your phone.
Yeah.
We have teenagers nowadays that's coming to, and what are they seeing? I'm going to look like this, 200-pound, 1% body fat, and they're like, I got to take this.
Yeah.
And then we have the dangerous aspect of teenagers jumping in here prior to when they're supposed to be taking this and actually impacting their growth, different things like that. So
Yeah, and I mean, especially with things like SARMs, which are, marketed heavily on, they're not even approved for human use.
Nah,
You got, dude, I can't tell you how many kids come up to me in the different gyms I go to, or on my social media for the businesses, and have asked me like, hey, what do you think about SARMs? I'm like, I'm not. I said, it's clear they're clearly young, and I'm like, one, I'm not talking about it, and two, don't take it. Like,
yep.
it's just crazy, but it's because either their friend told them about it, or some asshole at the gym told them about it, or more than likely they saw an article on social media, and it doesn't talk about any of the side effects, or the long term dangers of it and stuff. But and then, like you said, like they just see those ads or those products paired with some big jacked ripped guy, and they're like, well, I mean, I'm gonna look like that if I take that. Like all summer, this past summer, I cut really aggressively, and I got probably the leanest and biggest I've been at the same time. I was like 190ish at, like, I don't know, like 9% of it. Like, so, but I posted all that stuff on my pages, obviously, for the company, for the brand, and I had quite a few people asking, like, hey, like, how long do you think it would take for me to look like that, or like if I take your product? And I'm like, guys, I'm 32, and like I've been working out for a long time, and like I've been in a caloric deficit for 4 months now, doing cardio 6 nights a week for an hour at a time, lifting, like eating sometimes 15 carbs a day, like, and this is
Mm-hmm.
something that looks like they've never worked out, nothing is in, but like they're just such an unrealistic understanding of what goes into all that.
Yeah, and I recently did the same thing. I went through what probably close to 6 months of cutting, and the first 2 to 3 months was a slower pace, and then the latter half of it was just very intense. And you can probably speak to it. Things get very ugly the leaner you get,
Yeah.
and people that want to walk around like that all the time, I'm like, it is incredibly tough. Any thoughts about, going out and having drinks with your friends? Gone.
Yep.
Dinner with your friends out somewhere? Gone.
Yep.
Wings? Gone. Yep.
Yeah,
Forget
I
it.
did it. I did it. So I wrestled it through middle school, high school, and was going to college to wrestle.
Like a wrestler. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did it for 6 years. So I lost out on 6 years of Christmas, Thanksgiving, all those meals because it's a year-round thing, and that's all I would do because I'd be traveling year-round. So cutting is not fun at all.
No, yeah, I mean, that's why as soon as I was done, and I hung out there for like, a couple weeks, and then I slowly reverse dieted instead of just rebounding, because people make that mistake. But it's January now, and I'm back up from like 210. I'll probably get to like 220ish, and then I'll do it again and hopefully be like 195 this time when I'm done cutting instead, be a little bit bigger. But yeah, it's not sustainable, man. Like the few guys I see that are like that all year round, they're either miserable as shit, or they're like Greek gods. I don't know how they're staying like that, man. It's miserable. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fantastic, man. You look fantastic, and that's always great, and your confidence is up and stuff. But I mean, even unless you're in like the clothes you might have been wearing like when you're my size now, and then like you wear that, and it's like people are like, do you even work out? It's never great to hear when you've been working so hard. Like,
Yeah.
stop working out.
It's we could probably go on and on about this, but
Yeah.
it's such a heavy topic.
Yeah.
But we'll just keep it moving here instead of getting too far in there. But
Sure.
so next question I got here is, or is it you, D?
It's you.
It's me. All right. What helps inspire you and brings out your best ideas?
That's a hard question, man. So a couple of things. One is just like a fear of failure. And I don't mean like failing at like one particular thing, just like not trying in general. I think when I was younger, like 19, 20-ish, like I was kind of just, I went to college, and then I dropped out, and I went back and got my degree and everything. But like I just kind of was lost a little bit, and just didn't feel like I was doing anything. And then once I got out of that and got out of college and started working and became successful and moved up in different companies, like I was just like, I never want to feel like that again. And like if I'm not growing, I'm dying kind of thing, which is obviously true for any business. And yeah, and so there's that. There's just like the fear of not trying your hardest, and because if I really give something my hardest go and I fail at it, then like it's hard to have any real regrets, right? Because like you tried. and you can try again. And the other thing is probably just the people around me, man. My wife, she's super supportive. And the long hours and me, researching stuff and like deploying so much of my money into stuff that might fail. And I'm not very risk adverse at this point in my life, take big chances. And like we don't have any kids right now, so that's one of the reasons why I can do that and not feel so scared about it. But aside from that, it's just like all the people that talk to me online, like my customers and gyms and stuff, and just tell me how much they love the brand, how much they love the product, they appreciate the content or like the advice I give and stuff. Like that's just a huge, huge pick me up, man. And it's not totally altruistic. Obviously, I'm getting enjoyment and satisfaction out of it myself, but like I feel like creating something and actually seeing other people consume, digest, take it in, and really get something out of it is just like it's better than the money you can make. So it's just I just love that. It's awesome.
Hey, yeah, seeing your brand help other people. I mean, helping in a world we live in. Let's say this: in the world we live in today, helping other people is a small percentage of what people want to do nowadays. So when you're able to do that, I feel like whether it be giving a homeless man a hamburger or your product helping someone lose 10 pounds, whatever it may be, that's just an inspirational feeling. So I could definitely see that as well, man.
Yeah.
All right, D.
Yep. So you touched on this a little bit earlier, but where can viewers find you and your brand?
Yeah. So Instagram, which is at Freak Farm Fitness, and then Facebook is at Freak Farm Fitness. I do have a YouTube. I just have a couple videos up there right now. I'm working on some higher quality, like longer, because everything I've created pretty much has been for social media, which is 60 seconds or less, really, right? But I want to put out longer, like informational videos and things like that on YouTube. But then, of course, our website is www.freakfarmfitness.com. There's obviously the products and the apparel, and then a bunch of articles on there that I've written, and there'll be more to come. And so, yeah, and then I'm in some local gyms here in Virginia, supplement stores, and like I said, within the next 2 to 4 weeks, as long as nothing else gets thrown our way as far as the Amazon bureaucracy goes, we'll be on there. So, and I'll of course post on all the different things on there. It would be a huge help for anyone that's buying it. I'll personally, as the owner, make substantially less starting off per unit on Amazon, but it's scale, right? So I would love to see people go on there and leave honest reviews, whether you liked it or didn't like it, so you can find us on all those platforms and hopefully more, man. Of course, on your guys' thing now.
Yeah, definitely. Now I have one question before D gets to our very last question. Wonder if viewers look up freakfarm.com, what would happen?
I think it's not active. Hopefully. I don't know, man. I'll message you after this. I'll look it up. Yeah. But because I wanted to just do that, and then it wouldn't let me.
All right.
A couple years ago.
Let me test it there. I hope the CIA isn't watching right now or something.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it just takes you to some, the domain broker, and it gives you I don't know. It's nothing fancy.
All right.
And then I want to throw one other thing in here. We asked someone else this, and I want to just see what your response is. What's the weirdest DM you've ever gotten on social media?
Oh, easy, dude. The weirdest kind. It's not a single one, but dudes asking me to work out in my underwear for money. Yeah, so.
Wait, so they asked you to work out in your underwear?
Yeah, like how we're on a Skype now, like Skype, Teams, Zoom, whatever. And yeah, I get that pretty frequently. So I'm surprised, I would never pay anyone for that. So I don't understand. I mean, dude, you look at my videos, if I'm like a stringer and like Ranger, it's free. Yeah. So look. Oh, that's look out for my OnlyFans coming now.
Now, is that under Freak Farm, or is that with the fitness? Which one?
Ooh, man, That's a good one. That's all.
I wonder, is it like one guy that just keeps creating accounts asking for it, or is it?
I don't know. No, there's definitely different people, and like the people that have done this and seen this is not a slam on you. It's honestly, it's a compliment, but I'm just not gonna do it. And mainly because I don't think that I'm attractive enough that you should have to pay to see me work out. Okay, like if I really thought it was super hot, I'd probably be like, yeah, you can give me some money for that. But I don't. So just watch the other videos.
So
any blue verified check marks we should know about, or?
No, not yet. Okay,
All right.
I'll definitely. I might give into that because
well, disclosure. If you can send them to old Dirk up here, he'll definitely probably jump on board with that. His family has a history of some weird stuff like that.
Cool. All right. Now, I'll get like a referral fee, or
do what?
Can I get a referral fee? Some kind of you have an affiliate link?
Yeah, we'll set you up.
Yeah.
Freak Farm Fitness is the discount code.
Yeah. We'll get it arranged.
Cool.
Oh God, that was a good one. All right, Derek, you want to bring us home with the? All right, so
it's fitting.
We always are ending these segments with one off the wall random question we bring in. So I'm gonna let D throw this one at you, and we'll go from there.
All right, we're gonna play a little popular game called Fuck, Marry, Kill. So I'm gonna give you 3 picks here, and just please explain which one you chose and why. So fuck, marry, kill Paula Deen, Martha Stewart, and Betty White.
I would fuck, marry, and kill Betty White.
You can't kill off Betty White, dude.
That's hard. I don't feel it fits to any of those. I guess it's like it could be considered euthanasia, the kill part, given their age. But and I'm definitely not going to get them pregnant. So it's that.
Touche.
Yeah, I guess. So Martha Stewart, who has the most money? Probably Martha Stewart, right?
Probably Martha Stewart. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd marry her, and then she could. I'm into day trading, so she could probably give me some great insider trading advice.
Yeah.
For that, Betty White seems like she would be pretty fun in bed, right? She's pretty wild. She survived everything. Like,
Yeah. She's got 100 years under her belt. No pun intended.
she was giving people hand jobs and silent, So, and then who was the other one?
Paula Deen.
Oh, Paula Deen. Yeah, I'd kill her.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
That's a good one. I could deal with that list.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, there is that. That's all the questions we have. We do also like to end. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you would like to throw in here, or?
No, man. I just feel like I have a bunch of questions for you guys now. But that'll be we'll do a different thing, man. No, I think you guys said that was a good series of questions, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, all right, definitely. Well, first of all, we want to thank you for joining us. Everybody, will throw his information in the description of our YouTube channel video here. Check him out. Again, this is Zach, owner of Freak Farm. And if you want to check out the review of the blowout pre-workout that we did, we'll link that down below as well. But other than that, we're out of time, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks, guys.